Hello guys and all, welcome to the ESL One Mumbai India Qualifiers. We're watching here the LXG Esports versus coming soon game for the lower brackets of this magnificent tournament. Whoever wins this game gets to play against ROG Titans to see who gets the chance to face Signify in the grand final. For some reason the draft is currently bugged. There's been a lot of issues since the new update with the caster's UI and the lobby audio, so if you guys don't hear us in game, we are very sorry, and we are not entirely certain what's happening right now or why I can't see the names of the bottom heroes or whatnot. Hopefully it works out when the next pick, I don't know. Here we are in the ESL official channel, so remember to follow us, like us on Facebook, or subscribe on YouTube. And the cast for today will be myself, the Swordfish, nice to meet you, and joining me will be Wingblade Dota. How are you, Wingblade?
Yeah, I'm tired, but excited to play
6
Dota.
a.m. cast,
I mean, cast Dota. Just see Dota in general.
Yeah.
We saw these teams play yesterday, and they showed some interesting stuff. So it's nice to see how they develop. And like, Signify is strong, but I feel like both of these teams, as well as the third team, they all have a chance of taking them down.
Yeah, ROG specifically, I think, really showed a pretty high level. And even though Signify did beat him quite comfortably, I think they could have easily turned the tables around. I agree with that. I'm interested in coming soon, especially because somehow LXG decided, yeah, Viper's not a good hero. I mean, I'd rather ban the Undying. Viper is, whatever, who plays Viper these days, right?
I feel like Viper is without a doubt one of the strongest heroes, but it's not impossible to beat. There are certain heroes, like we see the Kunkka, that actually do really well against him. And Void is also one of those heroes that has historically done quite well against Viper. The one thing that's very scary about Viper is his timing. Once he gets like Atos and Guiding Greaves, how are you going to kill him? And both Void and Kunkka, they like need some items to be able to do that. Especially when there is a Shadow Demon backing up the Viper. So yes, these heroes are good against Viper and they are capable of beating him, but Viper still farms extremely fast and he's gonna hit a very scary timing, so they need to somehow play around that.
Yeah, it does seem like you mentioned, LXG does go for a couple counters. You're right, in the Kunkka and the Void. And the Void, I would say, even more, Kunkka kind of beats him in lane, but the Void, can really, like you mentioned, mess up with his timings if he can get dual chrono gank relatively early, before he can get some, tank ability. Yeah. Still concerning though, because he's a really strong hero, and like you mentioned, Shadow Demon Viper is very powerful. Also, a well-placed Nether Toxin can completely screw over a Void if you don't catch the Viper in the Chronosphere, because you lose your time block completely. And it's a great Zona skill.
I feel like an early BKB has to come out for Void, like second or third item at latest.
Yeah. I mean, in this game, I would even consider Kunkka getting a BKB as well, I mean, you're up against a Coddle sometimes.
Sure.
Yeah.
If you don't, you just die. It's simple as that. If you don't get a BKB, you're gonna die a lot.
I mean, the draft for coming soon here is very solid, I would say. It's slightly magic damage oriented, and it works really nicely with Nether Toxin's damage, magic damage amplification. Because you get like Coddle, Shadow Demon, ridiculous amount of magical damage, both of them, and even Centaur to some degree. And then Viper just, shoot one Nether Toxin before the Illuminate hits, and you pretty much win. And the last pick, a pick that we've been seeing a bit in these Indy qualifiers, is Sven in the carry position, which is interesting. Quite a tankable hero against Void and Kunkka. It suffers a bit against Kunkka because you can get kited, but... And Jakiro. I don't know.
Yeah, true. It's generally not great against Kunkka, and if you cannot kill Void in one stun, he just time leaps and ignores all of the damage. There is a Centaur though for the follow-up. But I'm not sure how much I like this pick. Maybe I would have liked to see another hero that can hit towers.
Yeah, I don't know.
Something like a Luna, maybe.
Like a Troll Span, yeah. Yeah, Luna might have been a bit better.
But it's not a bad pick overall. It has a stun, so it has the potential to be nice with Koto on lane. It's quite tanky, so it's not gonna die in Chrono or to the Kunkka combo. So It's pretty good. Speaking about pretty good, Brewmaster.
I think
It's
that's
one
fantastic.
of those heroes that just really messes with Sven, because you can't really instantly kill him in one stun because he has too much HP. You can't really focus him down because he's just gonna dodge everything. And if you ignore him, you're just gonna get cycloned 3 times in a team fight. So this is a very good pick for LXG.
I agree. I think Brew is fantastic. You can Cyclone the Viper early on as well, because Dick mentioned he's so tanky you can't really kill him, but he has a lot of impact. So Cyclone him and ignore him in the team fight. And you can always, let's not forget the Master Spell to take away the Warcry. It's fantastic. So, yeah.
Very smart pick, without a doubt.
I like the Brewmaster. I will say though, coming soon, just look at this Sven pickup. It does suit their lineup quite well. Like you have a lot of the Coddle really benefits the Sven early on, like you mentioned, and the Centaur with the Stampede ensures you don't get kited. You have a very good lineup in terms of creating space for this Sven, and you can kind of easily play that 4 Protect 1 lineup, because Viper does transition naturally into kind of a utility core with a Guardian Greaves build. So I think the coming soon lineup is pretty good. LXG to try to counter them. Now the question is, can you really counter a Viper in this meta? You know, we'll see. We'll see. The lane is especially important here. I want to see how much the Viper can take out of the lane against the Kunkka, especially in the early game where the Kunkka gets the advantage with the denies, and Viper still doesn't have enough levels and other toxin to harass him. That's quite the core of this mid lane.
I've seen pretty much every single Viper just go jungle at level 3.
Yeah, because the other toxin is so absurdly powerful. Yeah. I mean, even the ones that don't, like you've seen like Vipers that don't necessarily go jungle per se, but they always use this camp at least if you're radiant, or this camp if you're dire, and it's just super easy. You don't even need to leave the lane. Then you can continue farming the lane. The other toxin in this camp leave literally. The camp dies without you having to do anything. It's just fantastic. Yeah, they actually saw this ward as well. I think that's a pretty good start for the Viper. And he's already starting to go for the Atos build that's so common. Build up the crowns, no need for the Wraith Bands. It's actually a super efficient build. It's also part of the reason why Viper is so strong.
Yeah, for sure. I would like to see a Blade Mail too.
On this Viper?
Yeah, it's really good against Earth Spirit, it's good against
Kunkka.
Jakiro, it's even pretty good against Kunkka. Because these heroes all have a lot of damage that's difficult to control.
Yep.
And imagine just getting out your Blade Mail before you get Chrono. It's not that difficult, and it just completely shuts down Void. Just a 2000 gold item that has so much both aggressive and defensive potential.
Did you see that? He goes, go. Who goes, no, dude, my guy's disconnected. What? We can't go now. With the balls. I agree. The Blade Mail is a really good item in this game, especially because, as well, for a 2000 gold item, there's not many items, besides, I guess, Vlad's, that would give you that amount of armor. That's really useful in a game against a Void Kunkka. So, the Viper gets that extra little help.
The stats on Blade Mail are far from bad. 5 armor, 10 int, 22 damage. It's not the most efficient item, but combined with the active, it's not a bad thing to get. Especially on intelligence heroes. You don't see it very often, but they tend to lack a little bit of armor, so if you build Blade Mail, it's not that bad. Like, imagine an Ogre Magi with Blade Mail.
Yeah? The wet dream. Yeah? I can see that. I can see the Blade Mail being pretty strong. I mean, I know that you're saying intelligence heroes go well at Blade Mail and you're a quad player, and those things are clearly related, but... But yeah, I totally agree. It's a very underrated item in that sense, because right now we're seeing a lot of people going for the kind of this transition item, right? Very common to see drums, very common to see Vlads, even on carries. Well, now less so than before, but it's very common to see those kind of items. And Blade Mail is usually not that picked up, and there's some heroes that just can't really run, and like don't really benefit too much from drums or Vlads. Viper being one of them. So Blade Mail really fulfills that role. But I will say the new Atos is pretty fantastic as well. It does serve that really well, and it goes so well with Viper.
Yeah. I mean, 20 and 12 strength, 12 agility. It's
and can cancel TPs,
decent.
Right? Like, that's the biggest. I mean, at least to a Viper, right? Who before Viper you just TP and you're okay, whatever. He can't kill you, but now without Atos you can't even do that.
And the range is so good as well.
Yeah. That's very nice. Stormhammer in the top lane, but it's 3 heroes. There's no way you're beating this brew. It's unfortunate. So it does seem like they're going to start losing this bounty rune. No, but the bottom lane will go in their favor. It is a Shadow Demon Centaur lane, by the way, against a Void. That's a pretty strong laning combo. It's been a while since I've seen a Shadow Demon in competitive.
There is certainly kill potential on this Void. He just needs to mess up once and he's gone. Because there's gonna be a stun, there's gonna be a double edge, and there is gonna be the Shadow Poison potential.
No, tech is super good. The also the Soul Catcher, which, you know, I guess kind of works if you want to burst down the Void. I'm not really a big fan, if I'm honest, of this new Soul Catcher. I think the old one was considerably better. But...
It's a very strange spell for sure.
If you actually do I remember when this first came out, you know, I was doing the patch analysis. I had to do like I did like a damage graph, and as to when Soul Catcher, this new Soul Catcher is better than the old one, you know. And it's like slightly better in the early game, just in general, because you lack damage, because you don't amplify that much damage. So it's better to have that just raw damage. But as soon as the game goes, and there's like a certain degree of damage I have to do, like a percentage of their health. I think it was around, like for most heroes, past like 1000 HP, it's around 50% of the damage. Like, can you do 500 damage, right? And you almost always can. So, as the game progresses, Shadow Demon does lose that super ability, which I think kind of made him just terrible, honestly. Shadow Poison has been buffed like hell to kind of make up for it, but I really wish that Soul Catcher was a bit better.
I think it's decent. It's not as good as it used to be, maybe, but I mean, 40% of current health loss. It's still not bad. Far from bad.
Yeah, but it's obviously like it's getting back to him, right? And the biggest thing to me about this one is that it can be removed, this debuff, like with Lotus Orb or Manta Style or whatever. So if you're planning on using it, you really can't rely on it, because the enemy hero can just go for dispelling items. If it's really a big concern. And honestly, like a Lotus Orb on this Brew, for example, or even a Yules on Jakiro, stuff like that, it's not crazy.
True, but the moment you commit Soul Catcher, you kind of want to kill them in the coming few seconds. So I don't think the HP being given back is that important. But we'll see. Most Shadow Demons max the Shadow Poison anyway. There used to be quite some variation in what they would max. If there was an Illusion hero, the Disruption would be maxed. If there was a hero that could dispel stuff, you would max Soul Catcher, and if neither of those was true, you just max Shadow Poison. But now you see most Shadow Demons max Shadow Poison regardless of circumstances, which is a shame because I always like some build variation.
I agree. I mean, I think it shows the kind of like flawed direction the hero went, where they nerfed Disruption and Soul Catcher because they realized these two abilities are just too strong, right? Like early on especially. And they go, well, Shadow Poison is the other one that's only damage. A lot of heroes have this. Like, let's get a bit more damage. Let's reduce the mana cost. Blah blah. And now Shadow Poison is just too strong. You can't not get it because you get Shadow Demon to harass in lane. Essentially, that's the goal. Destroy the lane with a Shadow Poison.
I thought you got Shadow Demon to stack and farm jungle to get your position 5 Midas fast.
I forgot about that. Yeah, that's the real purpose. Because if you get Midas, you get double. You get Aghanim's, and then you get double Demonic Purge. And what's better than that?
I don't know. I haven't seen much.
Have you seen the Shadow Demon mid build that's how people think they can run? I don't mean in my pubs. Like some pros legit think that this is like a viable.
I've seen it. It has its place.
It's not that if Rubik mid can be played, or Lion mid can be played, I think Shadow Demon mid, so it totally works.
I was gonna say I actually like it more than Rubik mid.
Me too, yeah, I agree. It's less versatile though than Rubik mid. I can see why people think Rubik mid has so much more potential, right?
That being said, Rubik mid is one of the best heroes against Viper.
Yep, he is actually. It's a very good point. Ranged hero takes away your damage, essentially doesn't let you last it, right?
And if he gets Nethertoxin, it's a better version.
That's true, yeah. Actually, yeah. How much damage does it
That's
deal?
literally one of the biggest reasons, because it's such an easy spell to steal, and if it deals more damage and it lasts longer, like you can outfarm a Viper, which is not really something that I think any hero right now can do, save for like a Medusa, Terrorblade, or Anti-Mage.
Mm-hmm. That's true. And the Nether Toxin's actually very strong against the Viper, ironically, as well in team fights, right? Because he relies a lot on that Cross's skin.
Mm-hmm.
Huh? I never thought of that. Yeah, we want to see more Rubik mid. Like, cause it's not a traditional mid when I think about mids, so I never like think, oh, what counters Viper? Rubik? What? And
I did some research yesterday because I was frustrated about Viper just being so strong. So I kind of made a list of heroes that actually do well against.
What else? What else would you say does well?
Okay, the heroes that can win against Viper are Monkey King, Morphling, Kunkka, and Rubik.
Wait, Monkey King, Morphling, Kunkka, and Rubik.
Yes.
You mean in lane, right?
Morphling being the hardest counter.
You mean in lane?
Yes.
Okay.
But also in the game.
Okay. Right. Yeah, I've seen Morphling being a really, really hard counter because Viper can't outlast him essentially. So. Okay, that's interesting. I'm not. Wow. I mean, it makes sense. A lot of those counters are traditional. I missed the time when you used to pick Viper and Brew completely countered you in lane, but that's not the case anymore, unfortunately. Nether Toxin's too strong.
But we see one actually going for a corrosive skin level 1. I have not really seen this before, to be completely honest with you.
You know, mid one did the same thing when he was countered. Actually, he was playing against the Kunkka as well, and in the ESL One Katowice. Apparently,
interesting.
It helps you. Like I asked him, and I saw like the small interview. And he said that it also helps you last under tower if you actually hit the creeps. Like the creeps hit you under tower and helps you get that extra bit of damage that sometimes happens when you don't win the lane control. And also deters the attackers, obviously. Which
that's a good point.
Yeah, it's very interesting actually. I love that pros think to this degree, right? It's very, very nice. Well, I'm saying this to a pro, so I don't know. I'm sorry.
Pro, yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. No, you're my pro, man. You're the pro of my heart. That's all that matters. We're seeing a bit of, I would say, mistakes by Moon here. Using Nether Toxin so early, letting the Kunkka deny your creeps is, yeah. It's good that he's going to jungle now, but I don't like how he's playing this lane too much. And the Kunkka even wasted the time.
Just stacking.
Oh, he's
getting your creeps denied kind of sucks, but if you can stack your camps, you're gonna come back regardless.
That's very true. He didn't stack this one, unfortunately, which I think was the dumb Dota thing.
Kinda messed up. I would also like it more if he stacked both the hard camps instead of the medium one. Even if they are harder to reach, it's just more gold, more economy, and it takes like maybe 5 extra seconds.
I think if you're gonna sacrifice your lane like he did here, which in the beginning, and let the Kunkka get all these denies and whatnot, it's better off that you get more out of the jungle, right? So be greedy, man. You already kind of pushed the lane out a lot. I agree with that.
Hero could be in trouble, but he just casually walks away. Is he gonna get?
That's a good stomp. Gonna kill him off. A lot of damage with a Shadow Poison. Get the dual breath off. No, this Centaur hits like a truck. I forgot he has the Retaliate. Ooh, this Jakiro hit him way too much in lane, and he took advantage of that. Well, honestly, I'm surprised this happened because as a Jakiro, you have the ability to harass the Centaur without actually hitting him. By, like, liquid firing the creep, for example, or dual breathing. But I think the Void might have been also the reason why he got so many stacks of Retaliate. You have to be very careful with that ability early on. It's way too much damage.
Yeah, attacking Centaur is kind of a double-edged sword.
Yep.
Hey.
This next level pun. I mean, you're right. Like, you have to be. It's difficult to play Centaur lane now because before it was very simple, right? You like attack him, you get hit by return. Okay, I take the damage, but that's it. Now you give the kill potential, and with the Shadow Demon in lane, that Retaliate can actually turn into the reason why you're beating or killing someone. You don't need any more damage than that, really, as we saw in that last team fight.
It's gonna be difficult for them to kill Void though. Void is too tanky, I think.
He has a really good HP pool.
Especially because if Centaur goes for a stomp into double edge, he can always just get rid of the damage. He needs to somehow do double edge into stomp, but that's very difficult to do. And we see Kodo actually going down on top, which is not something that should be happening, because he has boots, he has 380 movement speed. He should be able to evade the Earth Spirit.
Oh, he wasn't able to. They caught him with a rolling boulder. They also hit him with a boulder smash, which settled for the kill. And yeah, this lane is not going too well for them, to be honest. The Brewmaster's actually putting a surprising amount of pressure onto the Sven. They're actually equal in terms of last hits. Brewmaster has a bit more denies. The Earth is having a lot of impact in this lane.
I feel like it's gonna get a lot harder for the Brewmaster though, with more levels on Cleave.
Yeah, that's a great harassment too. And oh, here they might find him with the Stormhammer, a lot of damage. He activates Drunken Brawler, and well, he can now man fight this Sven. That's the beauty of Drunken Brawler. The issue though is Drunken Brawler does like peak super high at level 1. It gives you a ridiculous amount of damage, and later on is not as powerful. So as the game progresses, you get more armor and HP. You can withstand that ability much better.
Total in trouble once again.
I'm sorry about that.
It's really risky to go for that bounty run. It's very greedy.
Yeah, I completely missed that. This card was playing extremely aggressive, and
yeah, I would have preferred him to just sit a bit further back, try to go for stacks.
Yep.
Because if you just static farm the lane and you have stacks, you're gonna come out ahead because you're winning bot and you have a Viper, so mid is fine too. Like, there is no need for any kind of risk taken on the top lane.
Totally agree. I mean, you have a Sven, right? Play with the Sven. No, stacks are super useful for him. Okay, Divide in the top lane. Could be in trouble here. Starting to hit him pretty hard. Boulder Smash to slow him down. Nice Stormhammer onto 2. Coddle needs to help out. Illuminate, at least to zone them out. No, no need. Just one hit from the Coddle. Get back. And Divide can make it back home. He's going for a Midas on the Sven. What do you think of that?
I have seen Battle Fury Svens, so I'm not arguing with Sven builds anymore.
I've seen Battle Fury Sven, so that's it. That's my comment.
They can do whatever they want. It's gonna work if they find space to farm.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know, if the management has gone to the point where you're building Midas on the best farmer in the game, they're gonna go for the Void in the bottom lane. See, can this work? Probably not. They're trying to get the double edge off. Oh, he actually almost died there. Pretty impressive. In fact, Vysolo, he needs one more level of the Shadow Poison to really kill Kaneki, unfortunately. Andrew stacked him up. Shadow Poison is pretty strong if he's just forced out the Time Walk. They know. They forced a TP from the Earth Spirit. Very good TP. A bit too aggressive by the Shadow Demon. And he realizes it's only Shadow Poison level 2. It's a lot of damage, but not as much as you think.
If the Shadow Demon was slightly faster and got the Shadow Poison to trigger before Void used his wands, he would be able to kill. That was quite... I'm not sure if you caught it, but I really like the way this Kunkka is playing. He was actually farming the enemy medium camp between waves, while Viper was trying to kill the hide camp.
We're watching Brew attempting to kill the Sven and failing at it. Okay, Stampede hit him twice. They have a Shadow Poison with 4 levels. They need one more level. They got him. Yeah, goodbye, Brewmaster. But the Kunkka comes in with the Ghost Ship, hits the Shadow Demon in the face. He still has the Magic Stick, so could survive this potentially. 10 charges immediately used. The Coddle can't help him out. No more Blinding Light, which means he's going to go down in exchange for this Brew. And somehow Coddle died as well. I think that was the cleave from the Kunkka. And sorry, can you mention that again? What he was forming the medium camp between? So this one.
Yeah, he took actually both medium camps before. When Viper went to kill the hide camps in his jungle, Kunkka just abandoned his creep wave to take the medium camp from Viper, which means that there is just more net farm on the map for him.
That's pretty good. That's I agree. That's a pretty good way to counter the Viper, right? Take that farming ability away from. Don't let him recover from early. I mean, he still has a lot of farm, obviously, Moon, because he's a Viper and he has brought a Vatos, which is ridiculous, but the Kunkka is actually beating him in terms of net worth by a solid 800 for now, which is really good, because Kunkka is also a really good space creator.
Yeah, I feel like one of the best ways to beat Viper is to outgreed him. Just pick a hero that farms really fast, because you're gonna have space in lane, and you're also gonna have time to jungle. So Kunkka is gonna do a pretty good job in both. Yeah. If you get something like a Radiant, he's gonna be extremely fat this game.
You think that's the build for him? Oh, wait, RR. And bottom lane, rolling boulder, catch him, boulder smash, slow him down, but they do have the hoof stomp. And with Radaveto stopping the Void, Viper Strike as well deters him from initiating any further. Okay, he's out of the Chrono. Kaneki used the Chrono very well. Actually, no, not very well placed. Because you actually completely crushed the Brew there. That was not your plan. It was a good zone out Chrono theoretically, but it caught the Brew, and that was the big mistake there. Now the Stampede comes in. The counter attack is here, but ours. Not that much HP left on him. He does tank a whole hell now. The Disruption saving his life. They still hit him with a Rolling Boulder, so a bit of extra damage. And they try to find Parasite. Do they have a way to cancel his TP? They don't, so he's going to get away unscathed.
Very nice presence of mind. Realizing that there is no stuns left and just going for the TP.
And they're going to go for the Void now. Okay, that Artivatus is really good at catching the Void, by the way. The fact that you can get extra catch on your mid, like a Viper, for example, and he already brings the damage, but that extra catch is just so useful.
I just don't really like getting the spell lifesteal early and putting only 1 point in poison attack. I feel like he missed 2 kills already by not having more points in poison attack. Like if he was 4 for 1 instead of 1 for 3 with talent, I feel like he would do a lot more in this fight.
Oh, we're going to fight the Jakiro here. Jakiro with Radavetos can't get anywhere. You're right, he does seem to be lacking damage. It's not really that poison attack damage scales so well, it's more the cooldown, right? Having to use every 6 seconds.
It gets 4 times as good when you level it.
Well, I know, yeah, but like, I mean, the having to attack it every 6 seconds, I find that that's the biggest deterrent, you know? Like, you can't really use poison attack efficiently right now. Usually 2 levels are what's guaranteed, and then you get 2 levels, and then you max Corrosive Skin, at least in the Viper builds I've seen.
I mean, I see a lot of Vipers just go even 4 for 0 right now.
Oh, why Soul silenced up being killed off? In competitive games as well? Because I found that the competitives do favor the Corrosive Skin a bit more because of the nature of the hero with the Guardian Greaves.
You get Corrosive Skin mostly for farming because it's just free damage on jungle creeps.
Yeah.
But if you actually want to kill stuff and chase stuff, having poison attack is way better.
So what you're saying is
also a little bit of player preference, but in this game, I feel like he missed like 2 kills on the Void by having this build.
Right. So what you're saying is that if you're gonna rotate early on Viper like this, so I'm actually gonna kill the Vase's Void this time? Yes, they will. That you might as well go for an offensive build because you're already playing offensively. So is that, yeah. I mean, I agree with that. I can see the point. He's still farming really well. He's still a Viper, but the Kunkka's actually having a bit more of an impact on him, actually, right now. Especially due to his good lane. And I really like this build-up as well of going for the Armlet. It's a really good mid-game item. And there's the Kono coming with a Will-O-Wisp. What's the idea? Radavetos Kunkka. Not the best positioning here, unless it was all a bait for the Ghost Ship. That was fantastic with the Rolling Boulder. Good disruption though, not saving the Viper, letting him to tank all the damage. Now the Ice Path are actually combining this pretty well. All the area stuns hitting the 2 of them. Mangata is also dealing a fair amount of damage, but finally Air Spirit dies. Shadow Demon is brought back thanks to the X mark the spot. Pinkman kills the Kono in the backlines. And now coming for more cleanup crews here, hoping to kill the Viper or the Centaur. But it's a bit difficult because he has no ultimate. And now he's at the mercy of 3 heroes, including one with God's Strength. Double stun. They chain stun him, which means they're gonna just eat up this brew for breakfast.
Both teams have such tanky heroes. So in that fight, 8,000 damage was done and only 3 heroes died.
Yeah, I mean, I will say though that the big deterrent there is you're fighting a 4 versus 5. You gotta saw the difference, right? And the fact that Sven was there offered a lot of damage or a fair amount, and Void was just not there. Obviously, he has no Mask of Madness and he can't do much right now, but you didn't have that potential cleanup crew that could have killed them all with a Chrono. It was a very good initiation.
Void needs to somehow find a lot of space.
Yep.
Because he's not gonna do anything, even if he has just a Mask of Madness. He needs to be fat. I wouldn't even mind him going for something like a Battle Fury just to make sure he's gonna find his place later in the game.
I agree.
We see once again Kunkka taking a medium camp.
Yeah. The Viper medium camp, yeah. It is quite useful, you say. And Kunkka's been contesting the farm quite efficiently. I think Kunkka's actually been playing really well this game, particularly. with
For sure.
with the build as
He
well. I
has
like it.
130 CS at 13 minutes, which is really high on top of 3 kills.
Oh,
Could be in
okay.
trouble here though. There
Ghost
is
ship,
a
Captain
Willow
Coco's
Wisp
rum.
now.
Okay, TP, nice. No, never mind. The Willows, like you mentioned, they caught him. Stormhammer as well. He still has the armor toggling, a bit difficult in their toxin. He's gonna try. No, he failed to do so. It's unfortunate.
Nice pick for coming soon.
And Pigman now the next target. They get him with Illuminate, Stampede use, guaranteeing the skill. They're trying their best, finally slowing down. Force the Primal Split. Pinkman can't really do much with his Primal Split, but at least he survives his engagement. I don't think they're going to try to kill him, though. He does harass the center a bit, but you have to be a bit careful. Always keep the Earth Bruling a bit away. He actually sends him back to base and harasses him with the other two. Clever. I mean, you're going to die anyway. You might as well use the Primal Split.
I'm not sure why Fly Solo didn't try to pop the Shadow Poison before the ulti went off. It was a free 1000 damage on the brew. He would have had to go back to base.
I agree. I think he's keeping the Shadow Poison for a bit too long. We've seen this a couple times, right? Where he actually just delays that popping it until he can either guarantee a kill or that's it, right? And the thing is, once you stack up to 5...
Still go down.
Oh, okay. There's a Chrono on the top lane. They catch the Coddle. Macapire on the Coddle as well. Shadow Demon helping out Disruption. Very good. Void could be in trouble. He had a time lock. They have enough damage. Yes, they do. There's a 2-second run of Atos. Now the Gosha comes in, but it's maybe a bit too late. They lost the Void. Now they can kill the Sven, though. The Kunkka carrying this team to victory. Now going against his enemy emitter. Doesn't get the Tidebringer out thanks to Nether Toxin. Now he'll try to kill Moon. Nice Boulder Smash Snipe. And with that, LFT can finish him off using the Armlet to toggle up and be back to nice HP pool. He also has that bottle to heal back up. And they're going to finish up the Shadow Demon as well, thanks to the Ice Path. That Kunkka, wow, really, really turned this team fight around.
This Kunkka is keeping them alive for sure.
Yeah. That Armlet worked
Doing a
wonders
great
as well.
job finding fun, but also making stuff happen on the map. This is exactly what you want to do as a mid. You want to stay relevant farm-wise, and you also want to make sure that your team can play around you, because you are the strongest hero on the map.
And that he's doing exactly that. He's fulfilling his role pretty well. I think he was reading the game pretty well as well. He comes into the engagement, perhaps not the leading engagement as a Kunkka usually would if you're dominating, because you're up against the Viper. It's a bit harder to kill. You bring that ghost ship to turn things around. You have a lot of catch anyway, and the rest of your team. It's good, honestly.
I am just very frightened about this Void scaling. Because he's
Frightened
up against the Viper, who is going to outfarm him greatly. He's going against the Centaur, and you cannot kill a Centaur in a Chrono, and he's up against this Sven with a Midas and a Yasha now.
This build.
Like, he needs some way to stay relevant, because a Void with a Madness and a BKB is not going to kill any of these heroes.
No.
It's a necessary purchase, but he needs more.
No. You're totally right. What's the build here? Do you think he should go for a farming item, perhaps, before that BKB?
I think he has to.
Like a Maelstrom, maybe,
BKB
for
is
cheap?
good, but as I said, you want to be able to kill people. You want to do more than just survive.
Oh. The Xbox the spot doesn't actually save the Kunkka this time. They have a Will-O-Wisp as well. They catch both him and the Jakiro inside of it. What a terrible blinding light. Jakiro's still in trouble, but the Ghost Ship actually hits 2. Doesn't matter. They actually finish him off with a good and well-timed Shadow Poison, waiting for that toggle. Well played there, Fly Solo. Now going for Pasot. Ice Path. Ready. Now the Dual Breath as well. This kill is not as important, so they might just let him go. Yeah, they will. Instead, they can catch the Void.
And the Earth Spirit did kill the Sven.
Okay, that's pretty good. Did they use a Primal Split for it? Yeah, they did. Oh, Viper comes in though, hoping to kill the Brood. It's not that easy, but oh, Viper's doing a fair amount. Ah, nice TP. You force the Atos first, then you can TP away. That's exactly how you play against Viper.
So we mentioned how Kunkka was playing insanely well and being really efficient too. Well, Viper just farmed jungle for a few minutes and now they're even in net worth again. It's just the power of Viper. It doesn't really matter how well you do in lane. Nothing really matters as long as you can pop your Nether Toxin on jungle creep. It's absolutely ridiculous. I heard that you liked having 600 damage on a 5-second cooldown. in AoE.
With a break as well.
It just makes me a little bit salty as a Shadow Fiend player. I have to use 2 raises to get that same amount of damage, and he can do it for half the mana on half the cooldown.
And because his kit is so useful, it translates really nicely, and his talent's actually pretty good as well. It translates really nicely to this kind of build of the Guardian Greaves plus Athos, because you can become a utility super easily, because like you mentioned, your damage in other toxins is already there. You just need levels for that. Kunkka has a very different appeal, which is why Kunkka's impact is kind of limited to himself and his damage as opposed to the team. Oh, we're going to see the Ghost Ship here, trying to hope save his teammates ideally. He has a really nice Torrent, but still caught in the Will-O-Wisp, and Kaneki's already dead. They lost their Chrono. LFT doesn't really know where to go. He's actually running around like a headless chicken, hoping to go back to his tower, but the Viper's just following through. The Baru joins in, hoping to help his Kunkka, and with a nice Torrent, they might turn this around. They get the Ice Path off, stops Divine for now, but Moon in trouble. Disruption to save him. Fly Solo will sacrifice himself for this kill. Divine killing Pasot now, and the Viper just distracting the enemy team. They managed to stop the Rolling Boulder and kill off this Earth Spirit. As now Pinkman in trouble. He's only left with 1 Bruling. He manages to blink away. Taunts the way away. And coming soon, will not be able to get this team wipe. However, they still get 4 kills in the process and only lose a Viper and a Shadow Demon.
And Void died again. He's falling further and further behind. I'm really not sure what you do on Void at this point. You need to find something somehow. I feel like his most valid strategy would just to try and kill steal as much as he can. Because he doesn't have a farming item, so he's not gonna out-farm stuff, and he can't really solo kill stuff either, so what's left? Well, just stealing kills and trying you can somehow snowball off that.
The Void though is not playing, or sorry, Kaneki's not really playing a Spectre though, so the idea of being able to steal kills, it's a bit difficult to recover, you know. I think you're right though. I think there's not many options.
I feel like he should just submit the welfare application.
Guys. UNICEF, yes. Are you accepting applicants, please? He's lacking farm. I mean, when the coddle is 2,000 gold away from your carry, you start to worry, right? Is that the point where you're like, okay, panic?
I feel like panic set in a few minutes ago when he died a few times in a row and then chronoed and just didn't really do anything with it. That's when you're like, oh damn, I need to do something.
I agree. I mean, I guess the difficulty here is that this game doesn't really have much combination except for the Macropyre. Because Ghost Ship with Chrono is like, okay, whatever, you know, it's not really what you... Like you can set up Ghost Ship other ways. So it's really the Macropyre that you're kind of setting up with this Chrono. You're lacking like the super damage. If it was like a Void ET, he could recover that way just because of how good a setup the Chrono is. Or even hell, a Void Skywrath for getting solo kills.
But even then, like, just look at the 3 quests on coming soon. They have a Viper with a Cloak and Greaves. They have a 2.5k, 2.6k HP Centaur, 2.4k Sven. And if he pops his ulti, it's gonna be like 3.5k, so...
Yep.
He can't really kill any of the quests, so all that's left is trying to find the Shadow Demon or the Kotal. But if he doesn't get both, the other one either disrupts or Will-O-Wisps.
Oh, Shadow Demon catches the Jakiro, and goodbye to Pasot. Yeah, it's a very good point, actually. The Chrono, because of its nature, you know, you're relying on either lower HP heroes or heroes that you can actually somewhat kill, so you have the impact, right? Because after the Chrono's done, you're done as a hero, as a Void. And if you don't bring the damage, your team can't bring enough damage to kill them off. Like, what's your plan? The Void is not really a useful carry outside of the Chrono, sadly. Yeah, I agree. It seems like a very difficult situation. Do you think they should have drafted this differently? Do you think the Void was a bad pick here?
In hindsight, it doesn't look as strong. Because he just can't really kill anything.
But it wasn't more because of how the game progressed. Oh wait, they're gonna catch out this Void. Can they kill him in time? Bartavito's already there, and yeah, I think Void's gonna die. They're toxin alone. The Ghost Ship helped him out in the end with the Captain Coco's drum. Now the Chrono's well again catching the Brew though, and the Willow is actually completely stopping him from doing any damage inside of it. Good Macropyre though, actually hurting the center quite a lot. Disruption puts the center in a worse position. No, so apparently it saves him from some damage. RR is completely fine, and they are yet unable to kill anything. Moon is actually full HP here, and says, "Why don't I just fight here?" The center comes comes in with a hoof stomp. Pretty good job as they break the brew. Can't really do much. The Void can't even fight against the Viper alone. He's still full HP with 20 magic stick charges. Like, he doesn't even take any damage. He doesn't know what damage is. He doesn't understand the concept. Moon is just destroying whatever LXG is trying to do here. And it's Sven who's actually bringing in the damage against these racks. So they're just using him as bait essentially. Garden Grave's ready again, and Sven's back for round number 2. He lost his God Strength. He can still deal a fair amount of damage. Earth Spirit's gonna die quickly. Thanks to a lot of Atos. Good job. Viper Strike did get wasted though here. And just a simple Earth Spirit. And now it could be time. Maybe they know they lost a bit of damage. The Ghost Ship is readily available again. Torrent is here. Sven gives up on the melee racks, goes for the range, just dividing their damage again. But it just doesn't seem like they care.
Literally all of
the stop. That's it. That's it. The Void is gone finally. They get the Ghost Ship a bit too late this time. Kunkka cannot save his teammate. He was doing his best to carry him to victory, but it's just not possible. They just don't deal enough damage. I mean, it's not like the guys that are coming soon actually push that fast. They can push forever as far as they're concerned. Second Garden Greaves, woo! Third round is here, and now they're back to full HP. Meanwhile, the enemy team who's in their base is not at full HP. The Brewmaster completely destroyed. The expert spot cancelled by the disruption? No. It's going to be perfectly fine. You can go back. It's not a problem. The melee racks, though, will still fall to coming soon, and they're like, why should we leave? We have healing for days. Go for the bottom racks. Tier 3. About to fall, or should fall. They have Retaliate activated on the Centaur as well, which gives them a considerable extra pushing power. And God Strength is finally available, which ensures that Sven can push these towers, or racks, rather quickly. Kumka's just looking at this with a tear in his eye, wondering what he did to deserve this game, sorry. And coming soon. I'm just unconcerned about this game whatsoever. They can play this super aggressively, go back, and honestly, they could have just gone for the tier 2 if they wanted to. They just choose to play this a bit better.
I'm sure they could probably go for Throne. They just have so much sustain, and as we saw when LXG used all of their ultis, they barely even scratched the Viper who was standing in front. They did a bit of damage to the Centaur, but I mean he has 20 regen too, so they just keep going, and the on at some point.
Wait, sorry.
They're just out of damage once they use all of their ultis.
Sorry, repeat the last part. Sorry, you got cut off by Discord.
1 sec. When LXG uses all of their ultis and they don't kill stuff, they're just out of damage. Like, there is no juice left to kill anything, because they don't have that insane sustained damage. They don't have a hero that keeps stacking up damage, like Ursa for instance, so once they use their stuff and they don't kill anything, coming soon can do whatever they want.
Yeah, I think that's a very good point actually. Most of their damage is based on like some sort of burst, right? The Void within the Chrono, the Kunkka within, I guess, Tidebringer, right? It's not an ideal lineup when you're fighting against what coming soon has, because of their natural tankiness. Do you think they just misanalyzed this draft entirely? Or is it just that the playstyle led to the situation?
I feel like it's just a negative spiral. If you can't kill the enemy once, you're not gonna kill them next time, etc, etc. But if you kill them the first time, you're gonna keep killing them.
Wise words. I mean, you're right. Like, they should have just, if they actually managed to accomplish their early game pressure, it probably would have been better off. This Viper might just actually last this engagement entirely. I mean, they used the brew, like the Primal Split, and they can't even stop the Centaur from being aggressive onto them. They just used a Primal Split for this. They now finally complete the Will-O-Wisp. Okay, Chrono again. Catching your teammate is not ideal in that Chrono, and you completely cancel the Earth Spirit's initiation. The Will-O-Wisp feel very powerful. Kaneki has his BKB though, starts hitting quite hard, but the Sven hits harder than him. And he's out of time walk right now. Can they get another stun off? Yeah, with a hoof stomp they can't. They guarantee the skill. He's trying to find the Kunkka, rooted up thanks to the Atos, Divine going against them, and now they have the damage here as well. Another Toxin to amplify some of the damage. They just need one more stun. LFT trying to run away, but even this masterful Kunkka is going to fall at the hands of coming soon.
I mean, it's so sad as a Void when you have to Chrono a support who already used his skills, but he's Crimson guided, so you don't really deal any damage. And when you're finally smacking him, he gets disrupted, and you just run back and forth in Chrono at max movement speed, just reconsidering your life choices.
It's just a very difficult game to play. This is very disheartening though. What actually saddens me about this game is that if this is game number 2 and you just lost the series, okay, fine. But this is game number 1, so you go into this next series with a pretty, you know, you have to change your mentality from this very difficult and frustrating game. It's not the easiest. Gonna catch the Viper with his Macropire. He's fine. He just tanked the whole thing. He's actually fighting in the Macropire. The fire is good for his skin. It just keeps him alive. Yeah? Pinkman's gonna die here. And that's gonna be it. He calls GG. He actually disconnects. Nobody else is calling GG though. That's interesting.
They almost did 50% of Viper's HP. Almost.
Can we actually look? I don't usually do this, but I'm gonna look at stats and see how much like HP he tanked in general. Let me see. Let's look at these beautiful stats for this game. So if we look at the scoreboard, we'll see that Viper received... He actually reduced 56% of the damage, and he received 20k damage. Not a single hero in LXG even comes close to being able to deal that 20k damage. His Sven actually tanked 23k, which is more than the Kunkka and the Air Spirit combined. I mean, look at this damage though, graph by the LXG Esports guys. Void has no damage, 4,000 in the whole game.
Yeah, it feels pretty bad to play Void in a game like this.
Your biggest
especially
damage
with the Crimson Guard too. Like, he has no damage items, so when Crimson Guard comes out, he just doesn't deal any damage.
Man, when you look
then
at this...
again,
yeah,
if he did go for a farming item like a Midas or a Battle Fury or a Maelstrom, it would have still been really tough, because you know that coming soon is gonna push.
Yeah.
They have this 20 to 25 minute window, and they're gonna come knocking to your high ground, so I guess he just thought that he needed to somehow kill heroes to be able to stop them. And I don't entirely blame him. The draft just put him in a very difficult position.
I honestly find that when the LXG esports draft could have done a bit better with sustained damage as opposed to this idea of wombo com, because they got very countered by the idea of just tanky heroes. And this is how you traditionally counter a Void as well. When he was good in the meta, just pick a tanky hero and just hope to survive the chrono. I will say though, even though the draft was difficult, Kaneki did not get particularly good chronos, especially in the early game when he still had more impact. It can't be that every single chrono he got, like the first two were literally catching the primal split, the whole primal split in, which is hard because it's 3 units. And you can't like one hero from the enemy team. I know Primal Split is not that much damage, it's more of a control spell, but early on it's such a huge impact, and you can notice it by the fact that Pinkman has 9,000 damage. Jakiro and Parasite both dealt more damage than Brew. That's not common. So, anyway, it's unfortunate. We'll see you next game very shortly though, between coming soon and LXG Esports. It's a best of 3, so LXG still has the chance to come back in the second game of the series. Hopefully you enjoyed the first game here in the ESL One qualifiers for ESL Mumbai 2019. And if you enjoyed the cast, feel free to follow us on @theswordfish and @wingblade Dota on Twitter, of course, or don't, do whatever you want. You're a free man. We're gonna be coming back with game number 2 very shortly between LXG and coming soon. Stay tuned and enjoy some music while we wait. Until then.